you know me, you know that I like to read. So I'm going to start my own online book club, honey. I tried to do one in person. It didn't work out as well. But nowadays, everyone's online. So why not meet up on here and chat about an interesting book? It's fundamental, y'all. People need to read. So what I'm going to do is just start an online book club. I'll read some passages. If you guys want to send in some audio of you reading as well, I can add that into the video, and we can just chat in the comment section about different books that we're interested in. If there's anything specific you guys want me to read, or just letting me know what books you guys are into. Like, let's get into it. Let's do something new. So this is what I'm into now, guys. I'm going to show you guys what books that I've been reading lately. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in this type of content. Hey, y'all. So right now is like kind of a sad moment because I'm about to recycle my books, and I have really grown attached to my books. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was like, how are you gonna be a book girly and you're a minimalist? Because I'm like, I can't hold on to all these books. So many books. I got 6 books right now, and I gave one of them to my good friend, so I really had 7. But I got 6 books, and honestly I have 8 because there's one book I'm not even finished with, so I'm not going to get rid of that one yet. But these 6 books, I felt like before I give them back to society, because I'm going to give them to this bookstore and they're going to give me book credit. So that was like the whole thing. I was like, I'm not giving my books away unless y'all's going to give me another book. Like, what? 6 books should equal at least 1 or 2 books. So I'm hoping that with the book credit that I receive from giving these books back, that I will be able to get a new book, and then it just kind of takes some stress off of me, because like I said, being a minimalist, like I don't really work well when I have a lot of stuff. I'm like, you got all these books you already read, unless you plan on reading them again, like give them to somebody who can benefit from it, or just give it to the bookstore. So that's what I'm trying to do. But before I do that, I did want to share with you guys about these books, because I've spent a lot of time reading them, and I'm like, maybe someone could benefit from knowing about what these books are about. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do a really quick what is the name of the book, the author, and kind of like what's it about for anybody who's interested. And this is kind of my last like little love send off to these books, because me getting back into reading has really helped with my mental health. So I really feel attached to my books, and I'm like, no, I don't want to give away that book, because it reminds me of a headspace or a time period where I was reading it and I was growing and learning certain lessons. So I'm gonna share that with y'all. Hopefully it's interesting. If you follow my channel, or if you even like me, maybe you're interested in the stuff I like. I don't know, child, but maybe one of these books will work for you. So let's just jump into it. All right, so this might be a crazy angle because of how it's sitting up in my car. I have it like leaned against my dash or whatever, but I don't really care. We're gonna get into it, y'all. So the first book I want to talk about is Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I will really say this book was everything. Like, I really enjoyed this book, especially as a woman now in my 30s. This book is very much so like a coming of age type of thing, but more so for like women, not really like young, like, you know, teenagers or anything. It's more so like when you're getting into that age where you really feel grown and you're trying to figure out like what you're doing with your life. Like, this was the one. And it's about this woman who, she's 29, I believe, and she's trying to figure out what direction she wants her life to go. And the book kind of goes back and forth between like, if she went on this path, this is how it would look, and if she made this decision, it will look completely different. So there's like 2 stories in the same book about what her life would look like if she chose 2 different paths. So if you're into that, like, definitely check this book out. It was such a good read, and so easy to read, by the way. Like, I got through this book like it was nothing. Like, I wanted another one. But the author, Taylor Jenkins Reid, she has a lot more stories like this. So you guys check it out. If you're into those stories about women, stories that have some romance in it, stories that have like life lessons in it, definitely check out Taylor Jenkins Reid, Maybe in Another Life. All right, so the next book that I want to share with you guys is Breathe by James Nestor. And this book was actually a gift. So one of my Thai friends obviously saw I had issues with breathing, I guess. I don't fucking know. But they decided to give me this book, and they were like, you know, a lot of the ways that we breathe we don't really understand how much it actually affects our like well-being. So this book, I'm sorry y'all, let me switch it up. This book, I learned so much from this book. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, this book taught me that like mouth breathing, like stop it. There's a lot of freaking mouth breathers out here. We should not be doing that at all. And then obviously there's some health benefits to not mouth breathing, so I learned about that. And then just also meditation, just being at peace and being aware of what's going on with your body, y'all. Like, this one was more like spiritual, a little meditational, a little like, okay, well, you might want to do some meditating, breathing, laying down. Like, it was a whole experiment. Like, it was like 2 dudes who like taped their noses off or some shit like that and figured out how it affected their health, whether they were mouth breathing or not. So like, check this out if you guys are into like some health related stuff, like you want to get on your health journey, honey. This is a good one for that. All right, so this next one is like honestly one of my favorites, I'm not gonna lie. This is The Courage to Be Disliked, and this book is by I believe it's a Japanese person, Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. So this book was so like amazing for me, transformational for me, honestly, because it really gets into it, honey. It really talks about some things that maybe people don't really want to address, like people pleasing, you know, like just wanting to fit into society, and ways that you can go about really just being your authentic self. I feel like a lot of those inner turmoils that people face when they want to be accepted by others, or if they're really focused on others' tasks versus their own, this is like the book. This is the book for that, honey. It's the book for that, because this book reminded me so many times, like, girl, focus on your own task. If I could take one thing from this book, it would be that. It was like, girl, if somebody don't like you, that's their task. If you're being the best person you can be, and you're being a good person, and you love yourself, and you love God, whatever the situation is for you, like, you good. I think a lot of times we focus on other people's tasks, which is, what do you think about her? Like, what do people think about you? And I'm like, I don't need to be focused on what somebody thinks about me. I need to be focused on what's best for me. And this book really helped me a lot with that. Also, I just enjoyed how it was written. It was very easy to digest, but also wasn't so out of my reading level, if that makes sense. Because I've read some books, I'm like, wow, this is a hard read. And I've read some books where I'm like, this is like a skim through, you know. This was right in that middle area where I was like, I can digest this as a grown-ass woman, and actually was able to take something from it. So if you guys are interested in like more like affirmational healing, like working through, you know, different issues that you've experienced in your life type book, this would be the one for you. All right, my bad, y'all. I've been door dashing, so I had to get it in for a second, but here is the next book. This one is The Red Swan. This book is by John Bierhorst, and I'm not even gonna hold y'all, I didn't even finish this book. I barely got even halfway through it. Like, it is such a difficult read, and I'm not saying that you couldn't, depending on, you know, your level of, you know, understanding or proficiency. I don't know, maybe you could go through this book, but it's so long. It's a lot of lore, a lot of folklore, a lot of storytelling, and just the way that they speak is a little difficult for me to kind of understand. So I found myself having to like go back and read things over and over again, which is not a problem. It actually has some really awesome tales about like Native American history. It says myths and tales of American Indians, so obviously that gives you an idea of what it's about. I am Cherokee Indian and Iroquois Indian, so I thought reading this book would help me, you know, learn a little bit more about the culture. But honey, I was like, I could barely read this book. What in the world? And it's a good book, but it was just very difficult for me. I think it was like a couple steps above my reading level, but I hope one day to get to a point where a book like this I can tackle, because literally it was kind of frustrating for me to get through it. I'm not even gonna lie. Buddhist meditation. Very straightforward. When I moved to Thailand, I wanted to learn more about Buddhist meditation, so this book kind of helped me like get more into the spirituality and like what it's about. If you're interested in learning about different religions, ideologies. Like, this is a great book for you. This book actually was more so like a how-to in regards to meditation. So I wouldn't say this book is necessarily like, oh, if you want to be like a Buddhist monk or something like that. Like, it's more so like teaching you the art of meditation, why they use meditation, how it's helpful, breathing techniques, and different meditative practices that you can do in your own life that can help you regardless of if you're a Buddhist person or not. So I really enjoyed reading this book. Yes, try it out, y'all. Last but definitely not least is going to be Pachinko. I absolutely love this book, and this book was quite challenging. It was a little bit out of my reading level as well. Like, I found myself having to go back over a few chapters, but at the same time, like, it was more so challenging and I wanted to keep reading it. Like, this book I did not want to put down, and it's thick, babe. You can see it's thick, babe. It took me a little minute to finish this, but this book is about Korean history during the wartime where they had a war with Japan, a lot of the struggles that the communities went through in that time period. It's also a love story. It's also a women empowerment book. Like, it's everything that I like all in one. So it follows the story of this girl who falls in love with a Korean gangster, basically, and ends up having his baby. So he's her whole baby daddy, but then he got a whole wife and kids in Japan. Like, what? Like, okay. It gets wild. It gets wild. And I'm like, if you're into Asian stories, if you're into just Asian culture, all of that, obviously me, Chinese, Thai, come on, y'all. Like, I've obviously been into this since I was a kid, but I really enjoyed reading this book about a woman who struggled during that time period. And they really go from her being like a teenager all the way up to her being an older woman who has seen loss, you know, to say the least. I don't want to tell the book everything, but this is my favorite book right now, Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. I like this book so much that I even named one of my plants in Thailand after her. I was like, I am loving it, and I felt so much connection with this woman in this book, even though she's of a completely different culture than mine. I just felt so connected, and I did not want to put it down. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This book is thick as hell. I finished this book faster than I finished some other shorter books. So that's it for my book rant, you guys. If you're interested in any of these books, let me know, but at this point, they're gonna be donated. You could probably find versions online or go to your local bookstore and see what you can do. But I hope y'all is reading. Because it turns out a lot of these folks can't read nowadays. I don't know. We need to be reading, y'all. Read and write, y'all. It's fundamental.